Success isn't about luck. It's not about waking up one day with a perfect life handed to you on a silver platter. It's about the tiny things you do every single day. Micro habits so small they seem insignificant, but over time, they shape everything. Think about it. No one becomes a billionaire overnight. No athlete wakes up and suddenly runs a world record sprint. No author pens a masterpiece in a single sitting. Success isn't built on one big, dramatic event. It's the result of small, consistent actions that stack up like compound interest. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. The 48 Micro Habits of Highly Successful People, written by Mindful Literary, reveals the tiny, high-impact behaviors that require almost no effort, but create extraordinary results. These aren't complicated rituals. Number 4 a.m. ice baths. No hours of meditation in a Himalayan cave. Just simple, quick shifts that, when done daily, turn into unstoppable momentum. In this book, you'll discover a 5-second trick to wake up with energy instead of snoozing your dreams away, a 10-minute thinking habit that separates millionaires from the rest, a 2-minute rule that kills procrastination before it even starts, and 45 more micro habits that successful people swear by. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like success is some distant, unreachable thing, this is for you. Because your future isn't shaped by giant leaps. It's built by small steps repeated daily. Let's get into it. Introduction. Success is hidden in the smallest details. Why massive success isn't built on big, dramatic changes, but on micro habits. Understanding how minute adjustments in behavior can lead to vast improvements over time is crucial for anyone striving for success. I've found that the journey toward achieving my goals often begins with small, almost imperceptible changes. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the thought of making large, sweeping transformations. The pressure to overhaul everything can be crippling. Instead, what I've learned is that focusing on tiny, everyday habits can set the stage for monumental outcomes. For instance, committing to read just 10 pages of a book every day may seem trivial, yet over a year, that's nearly 4,000 pages of knowledge absorbed. These micro habits accumulate, and before you know it, they become the driving force behind significant personal and professional growth. Embracing the idea that consistent, small shifts are more sustainable than sweeping transformations has changed my perspective on success. I remember when I tried to lose weight with an extreme diet. It was not only physically exhausting, but mentally draining as well. I found that taking a more gentle approach, like swapping soda for water or integrating a short walk into my daily routine, was not only manageable but also effective. It is through these small acts that I discovered a level of consistency that ultimately led to lasting change. When you focus on small adjustments, you create a forgiving environment for yourself, allowing room for growth and modification without the fear of failure. This fosters resilience, ensuring you stick to your goals over the long haul. As I reflect on this journey, it becomes clear that small actions taken consistently often yield the most profound results. The key is to stay patient and trust the process. Real transformation doesn't happen overnight. Rather, it comes from a series of tiny steps. So, if you're looking to make a shift in your life, consider what small habit you can adopt today. Maybe it's dedicating 5 minutes to mindfulness each morning or drinking an extra glass of water. These micro habits can be your stepping stones to achieving that massive success you dream of. The compound effect of tiny daily actions and why they shape your future more than anything else. The compound effect is a fascinating concept that reveals the power of small, consistent actions over time. It suggests that every tiny decision we make counts, not just today, but cumulatively shapes our lives in profound ways. Our daily habits, routines, and choices might feel insignificant when viewed in isolation, but together they form the backbone of our long-term success. I have learned that even the smallest adjustments can lead to remarkable transformations. For instance, by dedicating just 10 minutes each day to reading a book, I found myself absorbing knowledge and insights that eventually helped me in my career. It's easy to dismiss these incremental efforts, yet the truth is they create a ripple effect, drastically altering our trajectories. As we invest time and energy into key areas of our lives, whether it's personal growth, health, or relationships, those investments multiply, leading us to outcomes we once thought were unattainable. The beauty of the compound effect is that it empowers everyone, regardless of where they are starting from. Each of us has the ability to choose small actions that align with our goals. By focusing on what we can do daily, we break down seemingly daunting ambitions into manageable pieces. This shift in perspective can be transformational. I encourage you to identify one tiny action that you can incorporate into your daily routine. It might be practicing gratitude, writing for a few minutes, or making healthier food choices. The key is consistency. Over time, these small actions will accumulate and lead to outcomes that reflect our efforts. Embracing the compound effect means recognizing that our future is shaped not just by grand gestures, but by consistent, thoughtful choices we make each and every day. How this book will give you 48 simple, high-impact micro-habits that require little effort but create extraordinary results. Imagine altering the course of your day with tiny shifts that demand little time and energy, yet offer remarkable outcomes. The essence of this book lies in introducing you to 48 micro-habits that fit seamlessly into your daily routines. These habits are not overwhelming. They are practical and easily implementable. By weaving them into your life, you can witness profound transformations without the hefty burden of major lifestyle overhauls. Whether it's a few minutes dedicated to breathing exercises or a simple practice of gratitude at bedtime, each microhabit is like a small thread in the rich tapestry of your life. The potential impact of these microhabits is vast, stretching into different areas like career success and personal development. They may seem small, but the cumulative effect is nothing short of powerful. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose, clarity in decision-making, and improved relationships. Each habit contributes to a holistic shift, sharpening your focus, enhancing your productivity, and fostering a positive mindset. By the end of this journey, you'll likely find that mastering these simple techniques doesn't just bring extraordinary results. It reshapes your very perception of what's possible. Harnessing the power of microhabits can lead to tremendous personal growth, paving the way for a more fulfilling existence. One practical tip as you begin this journey is to focus on just one microhabit at a time. Set a specific time in your day to implement it, making sure it fits naturally into your existing routine. This way, you create an organic connection with the habit, allowing it to integrate smoothly into your life. As you begin to feel the positive effects, you'll find motivation to add more habits into your repertoire. Chapter 1: The 5-Second Morning Rule. A simple technique to eliminate snoozing and start the day with momentum. Imagine lying in bed, the soft glow of dawn peeking through your curtains. Your alarm blares, and instinctively, your hand reaches for the snooze button. It feels so satisfying, doesn't it? Just a few more minutes of sleep, a tiny gift to yourself before the day begins. But what if I told you there's a simple technique to break this cycle and ignite your mornings with energy? Enter the 5-second rule, a powerful tool to jumpstart your day. When that alarm goes off, count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The moment you reach 1, simply get up. This technique creates a sense of urgency that pushes you to act before your brain can convince you to stay in bed. The discipline born from this countdown spills over into other areas of your life. The 5-second rule is not just about waking up. It's about reclaiming your mornings and reshaping your mindset. Seizing the day with energy and purpose right upon waking offers immediate benefits that are hard to ignore. When I adopted this routine, I realized how incredibly freeing it felt. As soon as I got out of bed, a sense of accomplishment washed over me. I was no longer a slave to my snooze button. Instead, I was in control, setting the tone for the rest of my day. There's something inspiring about feeling that first burst of momentum. You begin your day with intention, ready to tackle whatever comes your way. The ripple effects are profound. My mood improves, my productivity skyrockets, and I find myself more engaged in activities that matter. Surpassing that urge to snooze transforms not only my mornings but my entire mindset, proving that how we start our day often dictates how we experience it. So, set your intention and give this technique a try. Tomorrow morning, start the moment with those 5 seconds. You might just find that each day becomes a new adventure, filled with possibilities waiting to be unleashed. How to hack your brain into instant wakefulness. Everyone has those mornings when getting out of bed feels like a Herculean task. I've been there, staring at the ceiling, wishing I could will myself to feel alert. Over time, I've discovered some practical tips and tricks that help me flip that switch in my brain to a state of alertness, and I want to share them with you. One of the most effective methods is to play with light. Your brain craves natural light, so try to get outside for a quick walk or even just sit by a window. The bright sunlight helps stop that sleepy state in its tracks. If you can't get sunlight, investing in a light therapy lamp can mimic the effects of the sun, tricking your brain into believing it's time to be awake. Another technique that I swear by is hydration. Just like a plant wilts without water, we don't function well when dehydrated. Keep a glass of water by your bedside and drink it as soon as you wake up. The immediate hydration will kickstart your body and mind. Additionally, a quick burst of exercise is a game changer. It doesn't have to be a rigorous workout. A few minutes of stretching or jumping jacks can get your blood flowing and firmly shake off the remnants of sleep. This gets your heart pumping, which helps your brain feel alert and ready for the day. Creating a morning ritual has been another powerful tool for me, acting like an anchor that sets a positive tone for the day ahead. This ritual doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as brewing a cup of coffee while listening to your favorite podcast or doing a few minutes of meditation. By establishing a routine, my brain starts to associate the mornings with specific actions, naturally prompting me to wake up. Incorporating elements of mindfulness into this routine has transformed my mornings. When I spend even just a few minutes focusing on my breath or stretching, it creates a calm focus, making the world outside feel less chaotic. Adding gratitude practice to my morning has also shifted my mindset. Taking a moment to acknowledge what I'm thankful for cultivates a positive mindset, making it easier to jump into my day feeling energized and open to possibilities. Finding your rhythm is essential for successful mornings. Experiment with different activities that resonate with you and see how your body responds. You might discover that journaling fuels your creativity or that a few minutes of yoga aligns your energy. The key lies in consistency. Once you've established your own morning rituals, they will signal to your brain that it's time to step into alertness. Next time you feel that morning fog, remember that with small tweaks to your habits, you can not only awaken your body, but also uplift your spirit. Make these adjustments part of your daily rhythm, and you might very well find the mornings not only manageable, but something you look forward to. Chapter 2: The 10-Minute Thinking Session. Why highly successful people schedule time just to think. Dedicated thinking time is a treasure trove of clarity and creativity. In the hustle and bustle of our busy lives, it's easy to overlook the importance of simply sitting down and allowing thoughts to flow. This time isn't about productivity in the traditional sense. It's about fostering internal dialogue that can lead to breakthrough ideas and insights. I've found that when I allocate specific moments for deep thinking, I gain a clearer understanding of my goals and priorities. It's almost like turning on a light in a dim room, illuminating pathways that were previously obscured by the noise of daily distractions. The quiet reflection helps me to sift through the multitude of thoughts and identify which are genuine ambitions and which are distractions. The creativity that springs from this solitary time can be transformational, leading to innovative solutions and new approaches to challenges I face. This practice of reserving time to think clearly sets high achievers apart from the crowd. I often observe that those who excel at what they do are the ones who've cultivated a habit of introspection. While many people spend their hours racing against the clock, high achievers pause, no matter how busy they are, to engage with their thoughts. It's this ability to find calm within chaos that differentiates them. They're able to step back and assess not just the tasks at hand, but their overarching vision. The discipline of reflection allows them to pivot when needed, remain adaptable, and ultimately focus their energy on projects that align with their true values and aspirations. I have witnessed firsthand how this practice can help me recalibrate my efforts to ensure I'm moving in the right direction. Setting aside time to think doesn't have to be a grand or time-consuming endeavor. Even brief moments can prove invaluable. A suggestion that has worked wonders for me is to schedule short intervals for thinking during my day, perhaps at the start or end of a work session. During these moments, I turn off all distractions, allowing my mind the space to wander and explore ideas. You might find that jotting down thoughts or doodling can also help spark creativity. Embracing this practice can not only enhance personal clarity, but also amplify your creative potential. The next time you feel overwhelmed or lost, consider taking a moment of silence to simply think, and you may be surprised at the insights that emerge from within. How 10 minutes of intentional thinking creates clarity, strategy, and innovation. Structuring your 10-minute thinking sessions is key to maximizing productivity and achieving meaningful results. To begin, find a quiet space free from distractions, a place where you can feel comfortable and focused. Sit in a position that allows you to relax but remain alert. Before diving into your thoughts, take a moment to breathe deeply. This simple act calms the mind and prepares you for intentional engagement. Setting a specific intention for each session can also provide clarity. It could be solving a problem, generating ideas, or reflecting on a decision. Write down your intention or say it aloud. This keeps your mind anchored as thoughts start flowing. Use a timer to maintain the structure of your session. 10 minutes may seem brief, but knowing there's a time limit often brings a sense of urgency that motivates deeper thinking. During this time, jot down your thoughts on paper or a digital note, letting ideas and insights unfold without editing or censoring yourself. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about harnessing the raw power of your thoughts. As you focus your thoughts intentionally, you might be surprised by the potential breakthroughs that emerge. When we give ourselves permission to think deeply, the mind becomes a fertile ground for creativity. It's often in these focused moments that solutions to ongoing challenges begin to crystallize. Think of it like clearing the fog to reveal a path that was hidden. With intentional thinking, previously overlooked connections can spring to life. For instance, an idea developed in one session may later be the key that unlocks a larger creative project or business strategy. Taking the time to reflect on your thoughts can unearth innovative concepts that might transform your approach to a challenge. It's about developing a habit of recognizing those aha moments as they arise and giving them the space to grow. Harnessing the insight gained during these sessions can lead to greater clarity, not just for a single task, but across multiple facets of your life and work. The beauty of these focused thinking sessions is that they are adaptable and can be tailored to fit your unique circumstances. Consider distinguishing between different types of thinking sessions based on your needs. Perhaps some days you may want to brainstorm openly, while other days call for careful strategy development. Each approach can benefit from the same 10 minutes, while the outcomes can be vastly different. Therefore, staying open and flexible in your approach allows you to cultivate a mindset geared towards continuous improvement and innovation. The next time you settle in for your 10-minute thinking session, remember to embrace the flow of ideas. Trust in your process, and let the clarity and creativity develop organically. A simple way to enhance your sessions is to reflect on what you've produced at the end of the week. Document how these 10 minutes have made an impact, and you'll likely find not just improvement, but also a growing satisfaction in your ability to navigate challenges and innovate. Chapter 3: The Mental Reset Button. A 1-minute habit to reset your mind after distractions, mistakes, or setbacks. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere, pulling us away from our focus and derail our productivity. Whenever I find myself caught in this whirlwind of thoughts and feelings, I turn to a quick mental exercise that I've come to cherish. It takes just a minute, yet its effects can be transformative. This exercise begins with a simple act: closing my eyes and taking a deep breath. I inhale slowly, letting the air fill my lungs completely, and then exhale gently. It's in this brief moment of stillness that I allow my mind to clear the clutter that has accumulated from stress, distractions, or mistakes. I visualize the thoughts swirling around in my head as leaves drifting down a stream, letting them float away, far from my focus. Practicing this mental reset not only helps me regain clarity, but it also builds resilience against the emotional turbulence that life throws our way. By allowing myself this moment to reset, I fortify my mental state against inevitable setbacks and errors. When I'm faced with a setback, instead of spiraling into self-doubt or frustration, I remind myself of this 1-minute practice. It acts as a mental shield, filtering out negativity and recentering me on what really matters. Over time, this simple exercise has become a part of my toolkit for emotional well-being, making it easier to bounce back stronger, whether from a mistake at work or a personal disappointment. To make this exercise even more effective, I encourage you to incorporate it into your daily routine. Whether you're standing in line, sitting at your desk, or even lying in bed, take just 1 minute to breathe and visualize clarity. You might be surprised at how much a single minute can transform your mindset, helping you to not just cope with challenges, but conquer them with confidence. Remember, resilience isn't built in a day. It's cultivated through small, consistent practices that allow us to regain our footing and stay focused amidst chaos. How this small trick prevents frustration, burnout, and emotional spirals. Timely resets can play a crucial role in enhancing emotional intelligence and self-regulation. When I first discovered this, I was astonished at how such a small adjustment could shift my entire outlook. Every day presents its challenges, and if I don't take the time to pause and reset, my emotions can bubble over. The ability to recognize when I'm becoming overwhelmed and to take a brief moment for myself has been a game changer. It's like hitting the refresh button on my feelings. By taking these intentional breaks, I give myself the space to process what I'm experiencing, which in turn helps me respond rather than react impulsively. This practice helps me understand my emotions better and prevents me from spiraling into frustration or burnout. Integrating these resets into my daily routine didn't require a complete overhaul of my lifestyle. Instead, I started small. I found that even just a few minutes of deep breathing or stepping outside for fresh air could do wonders. I intentionally schedule regular short breaks throughout my day. It might be as simple as pausing during lunch to truly savor my meal, or taking a moment in the afternoon to stretch and clear my mind. I also began practicing mindfulness, where I try to be fully present in the moment, whether I'm sipping coffee or walking through the park. By consciously incorporating these resets, I maintain my emotional well-being and create a buffer against the chaos of daily life. To make these strategies stick, I suggest setting reminders on your phone or adding it to your daily planner. Find what works best for you, whether it's a specific time of day or an activity that soothes you. Gradually, these resets become a natural part of your routine, allowing you to cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness. It's about giving yourself permission to take a moment, to breathe, and to recalibrate. Remember, even the smallest trick can lead to significant change, keeping frustration and burnout at bay while enhancing your emotional resilience. Chapter 4. The Visualization Lock-in. A 3-minute habit that programs your brain to focus on your biggest goals. Visualization is a powerful tool that can reshape how we approach our goals. When I first learned about visualization, I was skeptical. But the more I practiced it, the more I noticed its incredible effects on my focus and motivation. Essentially, visualization involves creating mental images of your desired outcomes, allowing your brain to experience success before it happens. This process is not just daydreaming. It's about harnessing your mind's power to pave the way for achieving your goals. Research shows that visualizing your success can lead to greater confidence and a more positive mindset. It's as if your brain starts to believe that what you see can become your reality, firing up the neural pathways associated with those experiences. This can significantly reduce anxiety and increase your overall mental resilience, as your mind becomes familiar with the sensations of success. To effectively visualize success, I've discovered several techniques that work wonders. First, find a quiet space where you can concentrate without distractions. Sit or lie down comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Imagine your goals vividly. Picture every detail, the sights, sounds, and even the emotions you will experience once you achieve your targets. Make it as real as possible in your mind. Another technique that has helped me is time-based visualization. Instead of viewing the end result only, I visualize myself taking the necessary steps along the way. This allows me to mentally practice the process, which enhances my preparedness and confidence when I actually face real-life challenges. It's also beneficial to incorporate affirmations into your visualizations. Speak positive statements about your abilities and your path toward success, as this reinforces your belief in what you are visualizing. Engaging in this practice for just 3 minutes each day can profoundly influence your focus and clarity regarding your biggest goals. Practice visualization daily. It's a habit that fuels determination and focus. This tiny investment of time can make a significant difference in how you perceive your goals and your ability to achieve them. How to use mental priming to keep your subconscious aligned with success. Mental priming is a fascinating concept that influences how we think and act, often without us even realizing it. It's like setting the stage for your mind to operate in a specific way, often to align with your goals. When we engage in mental priming, we expose ourselves to certain stimuli that can shape our perceptions and behaviors. For example, if you constantly read about successful people or immerse yourself in an environment full of positivity and achievement, your subconscious starts to absorb those traits. This process impacts your decision-making and actions, steering you toward choices that resonate with success rather than defeat. One practical way to incorporate mental priming and visualization into your daily routine is to establish a dedicated time for these practices. Spend just a few minutes each day visualizing your goals and affirming your belief in your capabilities. You can do this through meditation, journaling, or even by creating a vision board. The key is consistency. The more you engage in these practices, the stronger the connection between your subconscious and your vision of success becomes. Make it a habit, and watch as your actions begin to reflect the success you've been priming yourself for. Chapter 5: The 2-Minute Rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. The 2-minute rule is a simple yet powerful concept that can dramatically transform your productivity levels. The essence of this rule is straightforward. If a task takes 2 minutes or less to complete, do it immediately. This might seem too simplistic at first, but the impact it can have on your daily life is profound. When you embrace this approach, you eliminate procrastination on small tasks that might otherwise sit in your to-do list for days, weeks, or even longer. For example, responding to a quick email, washing a dish, or filing a paper all fit neatly within this time frame. Instead of letting these minor chores accumulate, completing them as they arise keeps your mind clear and focused, allowing you to concentrate on bigger, more important projects without the nagging distraction of smaller unfinished tasks. This approach not only enhances your productivity, but also significantly reduces stress. The accumulation of small, nagging tasks can quickly turn into a mountain that feels insurmountable. I've experienced this firsthand. There were times when I let tasks pile up, thinking I'd tackle them later, and they only served to drain my energy and distract me from what truly mattered. However, since adopting the 2-minute rule, I find that my workload feels much lighter. By handling quick tasks as soon as they arise, I gain a sense of accomplishment that motivates me to take on larger projects. When I finish those little chores, I feel a sense of relief, and my mind can relax, allowing me to focus without the burden of unfinished tasks lingering over my head. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity. By choosing to act immediately on small tasks, I prevent them from cluttering my schedule and my mind, creating a clearer path toward my goals. To effectively implement the 2-minute rule, you might want to keep a notepad or a digital tool on hand to quickly jot down tasks that pop into mind. This prevents you from forgetting them and gives you a chance to decide whether they fit into the 2-minute category. This practice not only helps you build momentum, but also reinforces the habit of taking action. Over time, you'll find that your productivity increases and the feeling of being overwhelmed by small tasks dissipates, leading to a more organized and stress-free life. Why this eliminates procrastination and prevents small tasks from piling up. Understanding the psychology behind procrastination is essential for anyone looking to reclaim their time and energy. Procrastination often stems from fear and overwhelm. When faced with daunting tasks or a lengthy to-do list, it's easy to feel stuck and avoid action altogether. This battle becomes even more significant when small tasks, which can seem trivial at first, begin to pile up. Those tiny errands, like replying to an email or organizing a drawer, can compound stress if not addressed. This is where 2-minute tasks come into play. When we commit to completing tasks that take less than 2 minutes, we take a crucial first step toward breaking the cycle of procrastination. Each small action creates a psychological shift, reinforcing our ability to act quickly and efficiently. The key lies in recognizing that each 2-minute task is an opportunity for a mini achievement, lessening the weight of our responsibilities and thereby reducing the tendency to procrastinate. Empowering ourselves with strategies to build momentum through quick actions can transform how we approach our workload. One effective approach is to set aside specific times throughout the day for these 2-minute tasks. By dedicating even just a few minutes here and there, we can maintain a steady stream of productivity without feeling overwhelmed. For example, I made it a habit to tackle 1 or 2 quick tasks during commercial breaks while watching my favorite show. This small change not only cleared up my to-do list, but also gave me a sense of accomplishment. Celebrating these minor victories fuels our motivation and encourages us to tackle larger tasks. When we see progress, however small, it creates a positive feedback loop that inspires further action. The momentum gained from completing easy tasks encourages us to face bigger challenges with renewed confidence and energy. One practical tip to keep in mind is to always carry a notepad or use a notes app to jot down tasks as they come to mind. That way, when you find yourself with just a couple of free minutes, you can easily refer to your list and choose a task that can be done quickly. This habit not only helps you seize those fleeting moments of time, but also keeps your tasks from accumulating and becoming a source of stress. By embracing quick actions, you take the wheel of productivity into your own hands, steering clear of procrastination and ensuring that no task is too small to receive your attention. Chapter 6: The 80-20 Decision Filter. How successful people make better decisions faster. The Pareto principle, often called the 80-20 rule, serves as a fundamental approach in decision-making that I find invaluable. It tells us that roughly 80% of our results come from 20% of our efforts. Understanding this principle can completely transform how we prioritize tasks. When faced with numerous decisions and responsibilities, focusing on the activities that yield the most significant outcomes allows for quicker and more effective choices. Successful individuals use this rule as a lens to clarify their priorities, hone in on what really matters, and allocate their time and resources wisely. They discern the vital few tasks that drive their success and make decisions accordingly, leading them to move faster toward their goals. An excellent way to illustrate this is through examining the habits of top achievers. Consider how entrepreneurs like Richard Branson or Steve Jobs approached their daily tasks. They would often eliminate the clutter by concentrating on key initiatives that aligned with their long-term visions. For instance, Branson has often emphasized focusing on the core aspects of his businesses rather than getting bogged down in minor details. Similarly, Jobs was known for his relentless commitment to simplicity in both product design and decision-making. By identifying the few things that would have the greatest impact, they made decisions efficiently, cutting through the noise and distractions that often plague everyday business operations. A quick framework to eliminate low-impact tasks and prioritize what truly matters. To genuinely understand the impact of our tasks, we must adopt a structured method that rates the significance of each activity we undertake. Every day, we are presented with an array of tasks, some of which might seem urgent, but are fundamentally low impact. By assigning a value or a scale to these tasks based on criteria such as urgency, importance, and alignment with our long-term goals, we create a clearer picture of where our time is best spent. This framework can be as simple as a matrix where tasks are categorized into 4 quadrants: high impact, low impact, urgent, and non-urgent. Tasks that fall into the high impact quadrant deserve our immediate attention, while those classified as low impact can be delegated or eliminated altogether. Once we start to visualize our tasks, we can more easily see which ones deserve our focus and which ones can be set aside to free up our mental resources for what truly matters. Shifting our attention to high-value activities can drastically transform our daily outcomes and overall satisfaction. When I began focusing my energy on tasks that directly contribute to my goals, I noticed a remarkable difference in my productivity levels. Engaging in activities that not only provide a return on investment, but also resonate with our values amplifies our motivation and enhances our sense of purpose. Consider what genuinely drives you and think about the tasks that align with that vision. If something feels like a chore, it's likely a low-impact task that should be reconsidered. By channeling our efforts into high-priority actions, whether they are related to personal development, professional growth, or meaningful connections, we can maximize the benefits they yield. This level of intentionality ensures we are not just busy, but actively moving toward our aspirations. In practice, start each day by reviewing your task list through this lens of impact. Take a few moments to evaluate what you have planned and ask yourself, is this task going to bring me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, consider whether it's genuinely necessary. If you find that it's taking up space on your to-do list but offers little value, don't hesitate to cut it out. This simple act of prioritizing can free up mental clutter and open the door for creativity and focus on tasks that align with your true purpose. A practical tip to easily implement this framework is to maintain a success journal, where you record tasks you accomplished that align with your high-impact goals. Over time, reflecting on this can reinforce your commitment to prioritizing what truly matters. Chapter 7: The Energy Check-in Habit. A 60-second scan to assess and manage your energy levels. Being able to assess my energy levels in just a minute has transformed how I approach my day. It's like having a quick check-in with myself. I take a moment to pause and evaluate how I feel physically and mentally. First, I notice if I feel lively and engaged or if I'm dragging and distracted. I look for signs in my body. Are my muscles tense or relaxed? Is my mind clear, or is it a foggy mess? I take a deep breath and ask myself what might be influencing my energy. Perhaps I didn't sleep well last night, or maybe I just had an intense meeting. Each detail matters because understanding my energy state is the first step toward improving my productivity. Once I recognize where I stand energy-wise, I can adjust my daily tasks to align with how I feel. If my energy is high, I tackle complex projects and engage in creative thinking. I dive into tasks that require focus, knowing that this is the best time for me to be productive. When my energy dips, I switch gears. I might handle routine tasks that don't require much brain power or take brief breaks to recharge. I've learned that it's okay to pace myself. Sometimes, a simple task like organizing my desk can provide a sense of accomplishment without draining me further. Listening to my body helps me stay productive without burning out. A quick energy scan can be a game changer in managing your day. Next time you feel your energy levels fluctuating, remember to tune into your body and mind. Adjusting tasks based on energy levels is not a sign of weakness. It's a smart strategy for sustainable productivity. You can empower yourself by being conscious of when to push forward and when to hold back, leading not only to a more fruitful day, but also to improved well-being. A simple tip to remember is to keep a notepad handy, jotting down your energy levels at various times throughout the day. Over time, you'll start to see patterns that can help you structure your day more effectively. How successful people adjust their work rhythms based on energy, not the clock. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in mastering time management. It's not just about managing your calendar or sticking to a rigid timetable. It's about understanding your own feelings and the rhythms of your energy throughout the day. Successful individuals often take a moment to pause and assess how they're feeling. They recognize when their enthusiasm peaks and when it wanes. This awareness allows them to tackle the most challenging tasks when they feel most vibrant and focused. Instead of being slaves to the clock, they learn to navigate their schedules in a way that capitalizes on their emotional states, making their work more efficient and fulfilling. A fluid approach to scheduling can lead to increased productivity. Imagine planning your day around your natural energy peaks, rather than strictly by the hours. Successful people often experiment with when they work best. Some may find their sharpest in the early morning, while others might hit their stride in the afternoon or even late at night. By being flexible with their schedules, they align their most important tasks with their most energized moments. Instead of pushing through the midday slump, they might take a break to recharge, returning to their work when they feel more invigorated. This adaptability not only enhances performance, but also fosters greater satisfaction in daily tasks. By recognizing your own energy patterns and allowing yourself the flexibility to adapt, you'll find that work becomes more enjoyable. It's also beneficial to track these patterns over time. Consider keeping a simple journal where you jot down when you feel most energetic and when your productivity dips. With this insight, you can make informed decisions about your workday and align your tasks accordingly. This practice can lead to greater fulfillment and effectiveness in both personal and professional realms. Chapter 8: The Momentum Stacking Method. How to use tiny early wins to build unstoppable momentum. Starting the day with small victories can transform your mindset and set a positive tone for everything that follows. I've learned that these little achievements, whether it's making the bed, completing a short workout, or even just enjoying a quiet cup of coffee, can spark a sense of accomplishment. Each tiny win is like a drop of water slowly filling a glass. As these drops accumulate, my confidence grows, and I begin to feel more capable of handling the bigger tasks ahead. These simple acts of success serve as reminders that I can take control of my day, and they fill me with a sense of purpose and motivation. These early wins are not just isolated events. They have a ripple effect that can lead to an avalanche of productivity. When I cross off those small to-dos, something magical happens. That initial sense of achievement drives me to tackle the next item on my list with greater enthusiasm. I find myself getting sucked into a productive flow, where one task leads seamlessly into another. This chain reaction amplifies my energy and creates a momentum that feels unstoppable. Before I know it, I've accomplished several larger goals without even realizing it, all because I started my day off right. Recognizing the power of these early wins is crucial. It's about training myself to celebrate the small stuff. Each time I acknowledge a small victory, I reinforce the belief that I am capable and ready to take on challenges. To maximize this strategy, I keep a journal of my wins, big and small. Seeing them written down serves as a boost on days when motivation dips lower. So whether it's getting up on time or finishing a small project, I remind myself to celebrate these moments. The key lies in finding joy in the journey of daily achievements, which in turn builds momentum that can carry me through even the toughest of days. A micro-habit that turns small wins into big breakthroughs. Recognizing small successes can profoundly affect our motivation, often in ways we don't realize. The psychological boost from acknowledging these minor achievements can create a ripple effect throughout our lives. When we celebrate small wins, we activate a sense of progress and momentum that fuels our desire to pursue larger goals. This effect is underscored by research in positive psychology, which demonstrates that our brains reward us for achieving even the simplest tasks. Each time I acknowledge a small success, whether it's completing a task ahead of schedule or simply staying committed to my morning routine, I feel a spark of motivation igniting within me. This spark leads to a more positive outlook and the resilience to tackle larger challenges that lie ahead, transforming those little victories into significant turning points in my journey. To consciously identify and celebrate these wins in our daily life, we need to develop certain strategies. First, making a habit of journaling can be incredibly effective. At the end of each day, I sit down to reflect on what went well, no matter how minor those things may seem. This practice not only reinforces the positive emotions associated with each success, but also allows me to track my progress over time. Another strategy is to create a win jar where I drop in notes about my accomplishments, big or small. The act of writing them down and seeing them accumulate serves as a powerful reminder of my progress. Additionally, sharing these wins with friends or family can amplify the joy of recognition. By vocalizing our achievements, we not only celebrate our own successes, but also inspire those around us to acknowledge their victories. It's important to remember that the key to turning small wins into big breakthroughs lies in consistency. Developing the micro-habit of recognizing and celebrating small successes establishes a foundation for resilience and determination. This can be as simple as giving yourself a mental high five for completing a workout or treating yourself to something special for sticking to a budget. Each celebration reinforces the belief that progress is being made, which in turn magnifies the motivation to continue pushing forward. As you move through your day, take a moment to pause and identify those little victories. They are the stepping stones that pave the way to significant breakthroughs in your life. Chapter 9. The I Am Identity Reinforcement. A quick daily affirmation technique used by top performers to strengthen self-belief. Affirmations have a magical quality to them that can truly transform the way we perceive ourselves. Each day, as I look in the mirror, I remind myself of the strengths that lie within me. These positive affirmations serve as a constant reminder, encouraging me to step into my own power and embrace who I truly am. The beauty of affirmations is that they work like a gentle nudge, pushing us towards a more confident and empowered self-identity. The more we repeat these positive statements, the more they seep into our subconscious, replacing doubt and negativity with faith in our capabilities. By articulating what we genuinely want to believe about ourselves, we start to align our actions and decisions with that new identity, making our aspirations feel increasingly attainable. One of the most powerful aspects of affirmations is how personal and specific they can be, tailored to resonate with our individual goals. For instance, someone striving for success in their career might declare, "I am capable and deserving of success," setting the tone for a mindset that embraces opportunity and achievement. If you're working towards improved health, you could say, "I nourish my body with healthy choices every day." This kind of affirmation not only reinforces a healthy lifestyle, but also reminds you to treat your body with respect and care. Similarly, if you seek confidence in public speaking, stating, "I express myself clearly and confidently," can help build the self-belief that is so crucial in those situations. By choosing affirmations that speak directly to our personal goals, we create a powerful tool that not only enhances our self-belief, but also accelerates our journey toward achieving our dreams. Experiment with crafting your own affirmations that truly resonate with your goals and values. Consider what you want to achieve and translate those aspirations into powerful, present-tense statements. Repeating these affirmations daily can establish a profound connection with your inner self and promote lasting change in how you view your capabilities. Why your identity shapes your actions more than motivation. Your identity serves as the lens through which you view the world and, consequently, dictates the actions you take. When I reflect on my journey, I see how much my identity shaped my choices, often more than my fleeting motivations. For instance, during times when I felt like a writer, my hands would instinctually seek the keyboard. Every idea transformed into a story waiting to be told. On the contrary, in phases when I lacked that self-image, motivation alone was not enough to pull me through doubt. It felt like forcing a square peg into a round hole, futile and exhausting. The link between identity and behavior has profound implications for success across various aspects of life. When you truly identify as someone who is healthy, for example, your actions naturally shift towards making choices that reflect that value, whether it's choosing a salad over a burger or opting for a brisk walk instead of a binge-watch session. Your behaviors align with your self-image, creating a feedback loop that reinforces that identity. This alignment leads to habits that feel less like chores and more like effortless extensions of who you are. Understanding this connection empowers you to recognize that sustainable change often comes not from sheer willpower, but from adopting an identity that reflects who you want to become. Chapter 10: The Power Pose Trick. A simple 30-second shift that instantly increases confidence and lowers stress. When I first started exploring the link between body language and mental state, it was like flipping a switch in my understanding of human behavior. The way we use our bodies can dramatically affect how we feel inside. Scientific studies reveal that our posture, gestures, and overall body language are not merely physical expressions, but communication tools that can change our mood and confidence levels. For example, when we adopt a closed position, like crossing our arms or hunching over, we often feel more anxious or withdrawn. Our brain interprets these physical signs as a cue to retreat and feel less assured. On the contrary, when we stand tall with our shoulders back, we send a powerful message to our brain to boost confidence and reduce stress. The release of hormones is involved here too. Engaging in expansive body language can result in increased testosterone, known for its role in boosting confidence, while lowering cortisol, the stress hormone. It's remarkable how a simple shift in our posture can send signals that ripple through our entire mental state. Embracing power poses is a game changer I wish I had discovered sooner. A power pose is essentially an open, expansive stance that occupies more space. One of my favorites is the classic Wonder Woman pose. Standing tall with your feet hip-width apart, hands placed firmly on your hips, chest out, and chin up. Just holding this position for 30 seconds can make a profound difference. It's not just about how we look, it's about how we feel in that moment. You can easily integrate these power poses into your daily life, whether you're preparing for a big meeting, stepping onto a stage, or feeling the nerves creeping in before an important conversation. Before any stressful experience, find a quiet space, take a deep breath, and strike your power pose. Not only will you feel more confident, but you'll find that tackling the challenges ahead seems much more manageable. Even in the comfort of your home, practice these poses several times a week to reinforce that boost in confidence each time you square your shoulders and open your stance. Implementing these practices doesn't take much time, yet the results can be transformative. Before a day filled with interactions, set aside those 30 seconds to embody confidence. The cumulative effect of repeated practice can shift your natural posture and thought patterns, creating a powerful synergy between your body and mind. Make it a habit to integrate these moments of self-assurance into your routine, and notice how your overall outlook begins to change. How successful people use body language to rewire their emotions. Nonverbal cues play a critical role in shaping our self-perception and confidence. When I began to pay attention to my body language, I quickly realized how deeply it influenced my feelings about myself. Standing tall with shoulders back made me feel more powerful and capable, while slumping or crossing my arms often led to self-doubt and insecurity. I noticed that when I walked into a room exuding confidence, others responded positively, which in turn reinforced my beliefs about my abilities. Research shows that our brains can actually change based on how we hold ourselves. By adopting a posture of confidence, we not only alter how others perceive us, but also change the internal dialogue we maintain about ourselves. Transitions from feeling anxious to feeling empowered can often be as simple as adjusting our physical stance or maintaining eye contact with others. This awareness of how our nonverbal communication shapes our emotions can truly be transformative. Embracing body language awareness has been pivotal in my journey toward emotional mastery. Recognizing the power of gestures, facial expressions, and posture as tools for emotional regulation has led me to practice intentional body language consistently. For instance, when I feel stress creeping in, I consciously choose to take deep breaths, straighten my back, and project a calm demeanor. This act not only calms the storm within me, but also signals to those around me that I am in control. I find it beneficial to take a moment each day to check in with my body language, noticing how I carry myself in various situations. This simple practice has helped me develop a greater awareness of my emotions and their triggers. With time, I have learned that I can use my body language to shift from a state of anxiety to one of confidence and assurance. Encouraging this mindfulness can pave the way for anyone wanting to reclaim not only their emotions, but also their overall presence in the world. Understanding the connection between body language and emotions opens up a world of possibilities. By becoming more attuned to how we hold ourselves, we can create lasting changes in our emotional landscape. A practical tip to enhance this awareness is to start your day with a power pose. Stand tall, raise your arms, and breathe deeply for just 2 minutes. This small act can set a tone of confidence that ripples throughout your day. By consciously choosing to embody the feelings you aspire to have, you can begin to rewire your emotional responses, facing challenges with newfound strength and resilience. Chapter 11. The What If It Works? Reframe. A micro-habit to shift your mindset from fear to opportunity. Shifting our mindset, especially when it comes to fear, often feels monumental. However, the power of a simple reframe can change everything. When we feel constrained by limiting beliefs, we often overlook the opportunities that lie just beyond them. A reframe acts like a mental pivot, providing us with a fresh perspective that can transform our thinking. For instance, instead of seeing a challenge as a threat, we can view it as an opportunity for growth. This is easier said than done, but it begins with awareness. Recognizing when fear is dictating our choices is the first step toward reshaping those thoughts. By replacing thoughts of "I can't" with "what if I try," we create space for curiosity and exploration. Each small shift, each microhabit, initiates a cycle of empowerment, allowing us to respond to situations with resilience. As this practice becomes habitual, we build a new framework that welcomes opportunities rather than shying away from them. Many individuals have undertaken this journey from fear to opportunity, and their stories inspire us. One story that stands out is of a woman named Sarah, who was paralyzed by the fear of public speaking. Every time she imagined addressing a group, anxiety consumed her. However, rather than avoiding speaking engagements altogether, Sarah learned to reframe her fear. She began to view each speaking opportunity as a chance to share her story and connect with others. Through practice and small steps like speaking to a friend, she gradually built confidence. Eventually, she not only spoke at her work meetings, but also led workshops in front of larger audiences. Sarah's transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a series of small reframes that shifted her mindset from fear to opportunity, ultimately leading to her success and fulfillment. Taking a cue from stories like Sarah's illustrates the profound impact small shifts can have in our lives. We can all take a moment each day to identify a fear and practice reframing it. Perhaps you're hesitant about starting a new project, fearing failure. Instead, think about the skills you'll gain and the connections you'll forge. Celebrate the small victories along the way, as they reinforce the new beliefs you are cultivating. Remember, every opportunity, no matter how small, can be a stepping stone toward greatness. Aim to identify and challenge one limiting belief each week, substituting it for an empowering perspective. This microhabit may seem minor on the surface, but its cumulative effect can lead to a powerful transformation in how you perceive the world around you. Why asking this one question instantly reduces self-doubt and hesitation. Curiosity plays a critical role in how we make decisions and take risks. Every time I found myself hesitating at a crossroads, I noticed that a spark of curiosity could change everything. It's like flipping a switch in my mind. Instead of getting caught up in the fear of the unknown or the daunting weight of uncertainty, I began to focus on the possibilities. When we allow our curiosity to guide our thoughts, doors open instead of closing. It leads us to explore what lies beyond our comfort zones. Questions can ignite that curiosity, turning our indecision into a journey of discovery. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" we can ask, "What if I learn something valuable?" This shift not only reduces self-doubt, but also encourages a mindset that embraces opportunity. Empowering ourselves with the right question can be transformative in moments of doubt. I've found that simply asking, "What's the worst that could happen?" can shift my perspective from fear to pragmatism. This question strips away the layers of anxiety and allows me to see the situation clearly. It forces me to confront the reality of my fears and often reveals that the consequences of taking action aren't as catastrophic as my mind envisioned. When I run through the scenarios in my head, I often discover that my worst fears are exaggerated and the potential for positive outcomes is far greater. Each time I remind myself to ask this question, I feel a surge of empowerment, as if I'm reclaiming my agency in that moment. Chapter 12: The No Complaints Rule. A 24-hour challenge to eliminate complaints and excuses. This challenge is not just a simple test. It serves as a powerful method to foster accountability and positivity in our daily lives. When I first approached this idea, I recognized that our tendency to complain and make excuses often stems from a lack of awareness about how much we allow these negative patterns to dominate our thoughts. By committing to 24 hours of complaint-free living, I suddenly found myself hyper-aware of my speech and internal dialogue. The shift was real. It was as if a light clicked on, revealing all those little moments where negativity crept in. Each time a complaint would bubble up, I would pause, take a breath, and remind myself of this challenge. By doing so, I began to notice not only my own words, but also the environment I was in. I noticed how my interactions shifted, how conversations transformed into healthier exchanges, and how we started to focus on solutions rather than problems. The impact of living without complaints for just a single day can be profound. As I reflected on that experience, I learned that eliminating complaints can shift one's mindset significantly. Without the burden of constant negativity, I found space for joy and gratitude. Each moment I refrained from expressing frustration. I replaced it with appreciation for what I had, whether it was the comforting warmth of my morning coffee or the beauty of a sunlit day. This shift brought noticeable changes to my overall happiness. I felt lighter, more energized, and surprisingly, much more connected to those around me. By focusing on the positives, I not only uplifted my spirits but inadvertently encouraged others to do the same. Living complaint-free didn't mean ignoring challenges. Instead, it called for a proactive approach. My mindset evolved from seeing obstacles as threats to recognizing them as opportunities for growth. One practical takeaway is to become conscious of our language. A simple tip to sustain this challenge is to replace a negative statement with a positive or constructive one. Instead of saying, "I can't believe I have to work this weekend," try reframing it to, "I'm grateful for the opportunity to be productive this weekend." By mastering this habit, we can foster an environment that cultivates accountability and positivity, not just within ourselves but also in our relationships. Engaging deeply with this challenge can spark a ripple effect, transforming not only individual mindset but also group dynamics. How this tiny mental shift rewires the brain for positivity and solution-focused thinking. Complaining is something we often do without much thought. It's a reflexive response to the challenges we face every day. Yet, as I delved into the neuroscience of complaints, I discovered that this simple habit has a profound impact on our mental health. When we complain, our brain releases a cocktail of stress hormones. These chemicals can cause a cascade of negative effects not only on our mood, but also on our overall mental well-being. The more we focus on problems, the more entrenched we become in negativity. Research shows that lamenting our circumstances activates the brain's default mode network, correlating with feelings of anxiety and helplessness. This mode is often about ruminating on what is wrong rather than what can be right. I found that this understanding of brain mechanics was illuminating. It was as if a light bulb went off, revealing how deeply intertwined our thoughts and feelings truly are. Moving forward, I realized that shifting my mindset could act as an antidote to this cycle of negativity. To cultivate a solution-oriented mindset, I began practicing simple strategies that gradually rewired my thoughts. One method that proved immensely helpful was asking myself empowering questions whenever I found myself caught up in complaints. Instead of dwelling on what wasn't working, I shifted my focus to what can I do differently, or what's the smallest step I can take toward a solution. This subtle change in questioning guided me toward a more productive mindset. Another effective strategy was to keep a gratitude journal, where I openly acknowledged not just the joys, but also the lessons learned from difficult situations. Recording positive aspects of my day allowed me to see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. By highlighting solutions instead of dwelling on problems, I created a mental environment more conducive to growth and positivity. Real change doesn't happen overnight, but surfacing this simple shift in thinking can pave the way for a more uplifting outlook on life. One useful tip I embraced was to set a dedicated time each day for self-reflection, signaling to my brain that it was time to think creatively about issues. This practice transformed my complaints into inquiries, prompting a mindset where challenges were met with curiosity rather than despair. When we allow ourselves to actively seek solutions, our brains begin to respond differently, bypassing the negativity that once dominated. Start today by recognizing the moments when you're inclined to complain. Challenge yourself to rephrase your thoughts. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," consider thinking, "What can I learn from this experience?" This small, yet significant shift can help cultivate a more positive and solution-oriented reality. Chapter 13, The 5-Second Eye Contact Rule. A micro-habit that builds instant trust and influence in conversations. Eye contact is a subtle yet powerful tool in the realm of communication. When I engage in a conversation, I quickly realize that the way I look at someone can shape the entire interaction. Making eye contact creates a connection, signaling that I am present and truly listening. It shows respect and interest, fostering a deeper understanding between the parties involved. The moment our eyes meet, there's an unspoken agreement that we are both invested in the conversation. Behavioral research backs this up, indicating that effective communicators often use eye contact to enhance their influence and build trust. It acts as a bridge, allowing us to convey sincerity and confidence in what we are saying. This is crucial, especially in situations where we want to leave a lasting impression or establish rapport. The comfort level created by maintaining eye contact can also help alleviate tensions, making it easier to discuss challenging or emotional topics. The mere act of looking someone in the eye can create a sense of intimacy and make them feel valued, leading to more meaningful exchanges. Mastering eye contact is about practice and mindfulness. I've found that it helps to be aware of my own body language and how it might affect the perceptions of those around me. A good starting point is to aim for a 50-70 rule, maintaining eye contact about 50% of the time when speaking and 70% of the time when listening creates a balanced dynamic. It's important to remain aware of the other person's comfort level, as staring can feel overwhelming. Instead, I focus on looking away occasionally and then returning my gaze, creating a rhythm that feels natural. This not only relaxes the conversation, but also allows me to process my thoughts. Smiling while maintaining eye contact further enhances connection and warmth, making the interaction more pleasant. Additionally, practicing with friends or family can help ease the nervousness that sometimes accompanies this skill. The more I practice, the more comfortable I become, transforming eye contact from a daunting task to a powerful tool that enriches my communication. As I engage more deeply with the idea of eye contact, I remind myself that it's not just about looking someone in the eyes. It's about being fully present in the moment and making the other person feel heard and valued. This tiny yet mighty microhabit not only boosts my confidence, but has also dramatically enhanced my interpersonal relationships. One practical tip I find helpful is to prepare for important conversations by practicing eye contact in front of a mirror, allowing me to refine my approach and become more attuned to my expressions. This simple exercise can create a significant positive impact in how I connect with others. Why top leaders and communicators master the art of presence. Presence is more than just showing up. It's all about how we engage with others in any interaction. When I reflect on my own experiences, I realize that the moments where I truly connected with someone were the times when I was fully present. You can see it in their eyes when someone is really listening, when their focus is entirely on the conversation at hand. This kind of presence has the power to transform interactions and foster trust. People tend to open up more when they feel their words are valued and respected. I've learned that when leaders embody presence, they create an atmosphere conducive to open dialogue and authenticity. In meetings, for example, a leader who is actively engaged not only encourages contributions, but also builds a culture where trust flourishes. The energy shifts, conversations become richer, and the environment feels safe. That safe space becomes a breeding ground for innovation and collaboration. Being genuinely present in conversations is a skill that requires conscious practice. I remember a time when I tried to multitask during a discussion, my mind half engaged with my device and half with the individual sitting across from me. The result was a lackluster exchange that didn't satisfy either of us. From that experience, I committed to being fully present in every interaction. Turning off distractions, making eye contact, and being mindful of body language are essential techniques I now prioritize. When leaders show genuine interest and validate their team members' thoughts, the impact is profound. I've seen firsthand how this approach inspires others to also engage more deeply. It requires us to not only listen, but to listen empathetically. Questions should arise that prompt further dialogue, and responses should acknowledge what's been said, making the other person feel truly heard. This practice of presence doesn't just impact leadership. It cascades through entire teams, fostering a culture of trust where everyone feels valued. One effective technique is the pause and breathe method. Pausing before responding allows us to gather our thoughts and truly process what has been said, signaling to the speaker that we are engaged. As I've applied this simple habit, I've noticed it not only enhances the quality of conversations, but also gives my interlocutors the space they need to express themselves fully. The art of presence revolves around this mindful engagement. It's about making the choice to connect at a deeper level, reminding ourselves that the time we invest in being truly present can lead to extraordinary possibilities in our relationships, both personal and professional. Chapter 14: The One-Sentence Gratitude Habit. A quick daily practice that strengthens relationships and increases happiness. Expressing gratitude to others has powerful psychological benefits that can transform our outlook on life. When we take the time to acknowledge and appreciate the people around us, it creates a ripple effect of positivity. Studies have shown that individuals who regularly express gratitude experience lower levels of stress and depression. This simple act triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter known to boost mood and enhance feelings of well-being. It cultivates a mindset of appreciation that not only uplifts our own spirits, but also strengthens our connections with others. When I consciously express gratitude, I find that even simple interactions become meaningful. Whether it's thanking a colleague for their help or expressing appreciation to a friend for their support, these small moments foster a deeper sense of connection and belonging. Making gratitude a daily ritual can significantly enhance our social bonds. By incorporating small acts of gratitude into our daily lives, we create habits that deepen our relationships. This could be as simple as writing a thank you note, sending a text to let someone know you're thinking of them, or sharing a compliment. I found that dedicating just a few minutes each day to reflect on what I'm grateful for can shift my perspective. It encourages me to reach out to others, share joy, and strengthen those ties. Over time, these moments become a natural part of our routine, enriching our interactions and nurturing a positive environment. When we actively practice gratitude, we not only increase our own happiness, but also contribute to a supportive network around us. A practical way to start this gratitude ritual is to keep a gratitude journal. Jot down the names of people who made a difference in your day and specific reasons you appreciate them. This can serve as a reminder of the positive influences in your life and can motivate you to express your gratitude directly to them. This small daily commitment can lead to profound changes in how we relate to others and how we view the world. How this habit creates deeper connections with almost no effort. Simple gestures have a remarkable ability to foster a sense of community and appreciation among us. Every day, we encounter opportunities to connect with others through tiny acts of kindness. A smile shared with a stranger, holding the door for someone, or even sending a quick text to check in on a friend can create ripples of goodwill that strengthen our social fabric. I've found that these small actions can bridge gaps, making people feel valued and acknowledged. When I take a moment to genuinely appreciate my neighbors or colleagues, it transforms routine interactions into meaningful connections. It feels as if we are all part of a larger tapestry, with each gesture weaving us closer together. There are numerous gratitude practices that can easily fit into our everyday lives. One of my favorites is keeping a gratitude journal, where I take just 5 minutes each morning to jot down things I appreciate. These can be as simple as a sunny day or a warm cup of coffee. Another easy way to express gratitude is by regularly telling people, directly or through notes, what you appreciate about them. I've started leaving little sticky notes on my family's bathroom mirror, and the joy on their faces when they read them is priceless. Additionally, incorporating gratitude into family meals, where everyone shares something they're thankful for that day, creates a wonderful atmosphere of appreciation and connection. These simple habits require little effort, yet yield profound results in the way we relate to one another. Engaging in these practices not only deepens our relationships, but also nourishes our own spirits. When we focus on gratitude, we shift our perspective from what's lacking in our lives to the abundance we already have. This can lead to a more fulfilled and happier existence. A practical tip would be to challenge yourself to express gratitude to someone new every week, whether through a message, a face-to-face conversation, or even social media. You might be surprised at how this simple habit creates richer interactions and fosters a sense of belonging that enhances both your life and the lives of those around you. Chapter 15, The 70-30 Listening Rule. How successful people listen more than they talk, and why it gives them an advantage. Listening is not just a passive activity. It's an art that offers significant rewards. Successful people understand that listening is a critical part of effective communication. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that speaking more means we are more knowledgeable or persuasive. However, the power of listening reveals a different truth. When we truly listen, we open ourselves to the perspectives and experiences of others. This creates an environment where ideas can flow freely. I've found that in conversations where I focused on listening actively, I discovered insights I never would have encountered if I had been busy preparing my next response. When we give others the time and space to express themselves, they feel valued, and this forms the foundation for deeper connections. The more we listen, the better we become at understanding the nuances in communication, leading to more meaningful interactions. Attentive listening fosters rapport and influence. When we engage in conversations with genuine curiosity, it's amazing how quickly trust can be established. People are naturally drawn to those who show a real interest in what they have to say. I remember a conversation I had with a colleague. Instead of interrupting or adding my thoughts, I focused entirely on what he was sharing. This small shift made a huge difference. He opened up about challenges he was facing, which allowed me to empathize and offer support later on. As a result, not only did he appreciate the conversation, but he also sought my advice on future projects. This kind of attentive listening creates a powerful ripple effect, allowing us to position ourselves as valuable allies or mentors. It's about creating a space where others feel heard and understood, thereby enhancing our influence within our networks. One practical tip for improving your listening skills is to practice reflective listening. This means summarizing what the speaker has said to confirm understanding. For instance, after someone shares their thoughts, you might respond with, "So what I hear you saying is..." This not only indicates that you are engaged, but also affirms the speaker's message. By integrating this simple technique into your conversations, you will immediately notice a change in how people respond to you. They will feel more respected and appreciated, and in turn, you will build stronger, more beneficial relationships. A simple technique to improve persuasion and influence. The 70-30 rule is a remarkable method for enhancing conversations. It suggests that during any conversation, you should aim to listen 70% of the time and only talk 30% of the time. This might sound counterintuitive, especially if you think of conversations as a chance to showcase your knowledge or share your thoughts. However, the truth is that by actively listening, you show genuine interest in what the other person has to say. People feel valued when they feel heard. When you practice this rule, something interesting happens. You begin to build trust and rapport. Instead of simply waiting for your turn to speak, you engage with the other person's ideas and emotions. You can follow up with thoughtful questions or comments that show you understand and appreciate their perspective. This active listening not only enhances the depth of your conversations, but also makes you a more effective and persuasive communicator. As you start implementing the 70-30 rule, you might notice your conversations shift in both tone and outcome. People will likely respond more positively and open up even more, allowing you to influence them without being overbearing. It helps to practice this in everyday situations, from casual chats with friends to professional meetings. You'll become more charismatic as others are naturally drawn in by your attentive demeanor. When someone feels like they're the center of attention, they become more willing to share their thoughts, making it easier for you to guide the conversation toward your goals. The key is to genuinely care about the other person's viewpoints while subtly steering the dialogue in a direction that aligns with your aims. To improve your ability to use this technique, begin by consciously adjusting your listening habits in your daily interactions. Make a mental note of how much you speak versus how much you listen, and gradually push to meet that 70-30 balance. You might even consider practicing with a friend, or in less formal settings, to build your confidence. Remember that being a good listener is just as important as being a good speaker. When you embrace this approach, you'll not only enhance your influence over time, but also foster deeper connections that can lead to more fulfilling interactions. Chapter 16. The Assume Good Intentions Hack. A small mental habit that prevents unnecessary conflict and stress. When I first heard the term assuming positive intent, it struck a chord in me. This simple yet profound mindset can completely change the dynamics of our interactions. When I choose to believe that people have good reasons behind their words and actions, I create an environment where misunderstanding and conflict can be minimized. I've realized that many of the conflicts I found myself in were fueled by my own assumptions. I would interpret a colleague's curt email as rudeness, rather than considering that they might be stressed or pressed for time. This shift in perspective made me more empathetic and understanding. Suddenly, I found relationships blossoming where I once struggled, simply because I chose to look at the underlying intention rather than the surface behavior. Encouraging this habit shifts the focus from a defensive posture to one of collaboration and connection. When we operate with this mindset, we open doors to deeper communication and trust. I've experienced this firsthand in my friendships and at work, where fostering a culture of assuming positive intent leads to fewer misunderstandings and a more supportive atmosphere. People start to feel valued and understood, knowing that their intentions are viewed in a favorable light. Implementing this practice invites a sense of tranquility into our interactions, lowering the stress that comes from conflict and frustration. It's amazing how a little mental habit can pave the way for a harmonious environment that not only benefits us, but also those around us. A practical tip to reinforce this mindset is to pause before reacting to someone else's words or actions. Taking a moment to ask yourself, what might be going on for them, or what could their intentions be, can provide clarity and reduce knee-jerk reactions. This simple habit can deepen your connections and lighten the atmosphere, cultivating a more peaceful and understanding interactions in your daily life. Why assuming good intent makes you a more likable and trusted person. Assuming good intent in our interactions can significantly alter the emotional landscape of conversations. When I approach discussions with the belief that the other person means well, it creates an atmosphere of trust. I find that when I trust the other person's motivations, I am less defensive and more open to dialogue. For instance, instead of instantly reacting to criticism, I take a moment to consider that perhaps the individual is genuinely trying to help me improve. This mindset shift allows for a smoother exchange of ideas, reducing the likelihood of misunderstandings and hostility. In many ways, this behavior is contagious. I have noticed that when I adopt a more positive perspective, others frequently mirror this attitude. It transforms a potentially confrontational situation into one marked by collaboration and respect. When I assume that the person I'm speaking with is acting from a place of care or helpfulness, they often respond in kind. This creates a loop of positivity, making it easier to navigate tough conversations and arrive at resolutions that benefit everyone involved. One memorable incident occurred during a team meeting at work. A colleague was sharing feedback on a project I had worked on, and initially, I bristled at what felt like criticism. However, I remembered to assume good intent. Instead of getting defensive, I engaged with curiosity. As a result, I discovered that my colleagues' insights were based on their desire to help the team achieve a shared goal. This single shift in perspective not only improved my relationship with my colleague, but also led to innovative changes in the project that I had never considered before. Another example comes from my personal life. During a heated discussion with a friend about a sensitive topic, I chose to believe that they were not attacking my views, but were instead expressing their feelings. This assumption helped me respond with empathy rather than anger. We ended the conversation with a deeper understanding of each other's perspectives, strengthening our friendship. These experiences taught me that by embracing the notion of good intent, I can foster healthier relationships and navigate life's challenges more gracefully. Next time you find yourself in a challenging conversation, pause and remind yourself to assume good intent. This simple mental adjustment can lead to unexpected insights and connections, transforming your interactions in ways you never imagined. Chapter 17: The 60-Second Deep Breathing Reset. A microhabit that reduces stress instantly and boosts energy. Deep breathing is a powerful tool that can bring us back to our center, especially in moments of chaos or overwhelm. When I first stumbled upon this simple practice, I was amazed by how quickly it could transform my state of mind. It's as if taking a few deliberate breaths transports me to a calmer, more focused version of myself. Whenever I feel my stress levels rising, I pause and engage in deep breathing. It only takes a few moments, yet it feels like I've pressed an internal reset button. Breathing deeply sends a powerful signal to my brain that it's time to relax, effectively interrupting the cycle of stress. Whether I'm at work, in a crowded space, or facing overwhelming tasks, deep breathing allows me to regain control and infuse a sense of clarity and peace into my day. The physiological benefits of breath control are profound and far-reaching. Deep breathing activates the body's relaxation response, reducing heart rate and lowering blood pressure. This means that with every slow, deep inhale, I am not only calming my mind, but also nurturing my body. Science supports this. When I breathe deeply, I increase oxygen flow into my bloodstream, which helps to energize my cells. This renewed energy translates to improved focus and productivity. Furthermore, deep breathing can help decrease levels of the stress hormone cortisol, leading to a more balanced emotional state. Incorporating this microhabit into my daily routine has not only enhanced my mental resilience, but also contributed significantly to my overall health. I find that I am less prone to anxiety, and my energy levels remain stable throughout the day, making it easier to tackle whatever challenges come my way. To incorporate deep breathing into your day, try to set aside just a couple of minutes. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and focus on inhaling deeply through your nose, allowing your abdomen to expand fully. Then, exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this a few times, and notice how the tension begins to melt away. Remember, this is a microhabit. You don't need to carve out hours to benefit from it. Just a few conscious breaths can refresh your mind and body, allowing you to approach your tasks with renewed vigor. Why high performers use breathing techniques to regulate focus and emotions. Breath control plays a crucial role in how we manage our emotions, especially in high-pressure situations. When I find myself in a tense moment, be it during a big presentation, a crucial conversation, or even a performance on stage, I notice that my breath often becomes quick and shallow. This instinctive response can throw my focus out the window and cause a surge of anxiety. High performers, however, are keenly aware of this connection. They realize that controlling their breath is like hitting a reset button for their emotional state. By taking slow, deep breaths, they can send a signal to their brain. This simple act interrupts the stress response, calms the racing heart, and clears mental fog. It allows them to step back, regain their focus, and approach the situation with a clearer mind. That's why you'll often see athletes, public speakers, and performers incorporate breathing techniques into their routines. They understand that the breath is one of the few things we can control when everything else feels chaotic. Building a habit of practicing breathing techniques is key to achieving sustainable focus and calm. I remember hearing a wise mentor say that just as we train our muscles, we must also train our breath. It may not seem obvious, but integrating short breathing exercises into daily life can significantly enhance our ability to maintain composure. Whether it's sneaking in a few minutes of deep breathing during a lunch break or dedicating time in the morning to focus solely on breath work, these moments gradually build resilience. There's something incredibly empowering about consciously slowing down our breath. It creates a space where we can observe our thoughts and feelings without being swept away by them. A practical technique I often use is the 4-7-8 method, inhaling for a count of 4, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8. This not only helps to anchor my thoughts, but also establishes a rhythm that invites calmness into my day. By committing to this practice, I've noticed lasting changes in how I respond to stress and how I maintain my focus throughout challenging moments. For anyone looking to incorporate breathing techniques into their routine, starting small is crucial. Try dedicating just a couple of minutes each day to mindful breathing. Notice how it feels to take in a deep breath, pausing for a moment, and then exhaling slowly. Over time, this practice becomes a powerful tool for regulating your emotions and enhancing your focus. Embracing the breath means embracing control in both your personal and professional life, allowing you to rise above the fray and perform at your best. Chapter 18. The Next Meal Planning Trick. A tiny decision shift that ensures you always eat healthy without effort. Meal planning is more than just a weekly chore. It's a foundational shift in how I approach my eating habits. From my experience, when I take the time to outline meals ahead of time, I unlock a simple yet powerful tool that helps me make healthier choices effortlessly. Crafting a plan for my meals not only saves time during busy weekdays, but also eliminates the guesswork and anxiety around what to eat. By knowing exactly what I'll have for lunch or dinner, I find myself reaching for nutrient-dense foods instead of last-minute junk. This decision shift transforms the often overwhelming task of healthy eating into a manageable, almost automatic ritual. Thinking ahead about my meals is a game changer. Instead of waiting until I'm starving to make a choice, I can preemptively decide what to eat when I'm in a calm, thoughtful mindset. This forward-thinking approach nudges me away from impulse decisions that often lead to unhealthy eating. For instance, on a busy day, it's all too tempting to swing by a fast food place just to fill my stomach. However, when I have a wholesome meal prepared, I can easily resist that urge. This practice doesn't only benefit me in terms of nutrition, it also gives me a sense of control over my eating habits, reinforcing my commitment to a healthier lifestyle. One practical tip to make meal planning seamless is to carve out a specific time each week dedicated to this task. Whether it's Sunday evening or Monday morning, set aside an hour to brainstorm meals for the week and create a shopping list. This small adjustment can reduce daily stress and help you stick to healthier choices without thinking about it every day. With this simple shift in mindset and approach, maintaining healthy eating habits becomes a natural part of your lifestyle. How successful people avoid energy crashes and brain fog. Nutrition plays a critical role in our energy levels and cognitive function. Every bite of food we consume has the potential to either uplift us or drag us down, influencing our mental clarity and stamina throughout the day. I learned early on that a significant part of staying energized involved paying close attention to what went onto my plate. Foods rich in nutrients, particularly lean proteins, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates, provide a steady release of energy. When I increased my intake of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, I noticed a remarkable difference in how I felt. The fog that often clouded my thoughts began to lift, and I found it much easier to focus on my tasks. On the other hand, I discovered that heavy processed foods led to that dreaded afternoon slump. It's fascinating how a simple choice at lunchtime can dictate productivity for the rest of the day. Incorporating planning into daily life has been instrumental for me in maintaining steady energy levels. I realized that if I didn't plan my meals, I often fell back on quick, less nutritious choices that left me feeling sluggish. By taking a little time each week to prepare meals in advance, I ensured that I always had healthier options ready to go. This not only saved me time, but helped me stay mindful of what I was eating. I also found that keeping healthy snacks on hand, like nuts or yogurt, kept my energy steady between meals. It's like having a safety net that prevents those energy crashes that can leave us feeling drained. Scheduling my day around meal times and including mini breaks for snacks or walks also created a rhythm that kept my mind sharp and focused. This sense of structure made it easier to fend off the brain fog that can creep in when we least expect it. Chapter 19. The 1-Minute Mobility Habit. How short micromovements prevent aches, stiffness, and long-term health problems. Mobility is crucial for our physical well-being, yet many of us underestimate how essential movement is in our daily lives. I have often found myself sitting for hours, caught up in work or the distractions of life. Over time, I began noticing certain discomforts. My back felt tight, my shoulders were stiff, and my flexibility was waning. It became clear to me that without regular movement, our bodies start to protest. This is where micro-movements come into play. These brief bursts of activity are not just about keeping fit. They are a way to help prevent the aches and stiffness that often catch up with us, especially as we age. By incorporating simple movement into our routines, we can significantly improve our mobility, helping to keep us feeling agile and pain-free. Integrating short mobility routines into my day has proven to be a game changer. I discovered that taking just 1 minute to perform specific exercises could work wonders. For instance, when I feel that familiar tightness in my shoulders, a quick shoulder roll, coupled with gentle neck stretches, can ease the strain almost instantly. During my breaks, I have made it a habit to stand up, stretch my arms overhead, and lean slightly to the side to feel a pleasant stretch across my torso. Even a 1-minute march in place has revitalized my energy during long work sessions. These short bursts of movement don't require much time and can easily fit into a busy schedule. Whether you're waiting for the kettle to boil or during a monotonous meeting, a series of simple stretches can lift your spirits while keeping your body mobile. A simple daily stretch routine that requires no time investment. Establishing a habit of movement, even if it's just a few stretches each day, can significantly enhance your overall health. When I first started incorporating small movements into my daily routine, I quickly realized that every little bit counts. The goal isn't to invest hours. Instead, it's about creating consistency. When we stretch regularly, even for a minute or two, our bodies respond positively. Simple movements help increase blood flow, reduce stiffness, and improve flexibility, which can all lead to healthier joints and muscles over time. Celebrating these small victories can make them feel less like chores and more like gentle acts of self-care. By committing to just a minute each day, I found myself naturally gravitating towards longer, more engaged sessions of movement. Those tiny investments really begin to add up and weave themselves into the fabric of our daily lives. Stretching for just a minute can seem trivial, but I discovered that this brief time can bring remarkable benefits. In our busy lives, we often overlook how vibrant our bodies can feel with just a little attention. A simple stretch can relieve tension accumulated throughout the day, especially if you're sitting for long periods. I began to notice that even when I felt rushed or constrained by time, dedicating just a moment to stretch my arms or back would lift my mood and alleviate discomfort. Furthermore, research suggests that short bouts of stretching can boost our energy levels and mental clarity, making us feel more focused. The physical benefits pile up: better posture, improved circulation, and reduced risk of injury. Investing 1 minute in stretching can truly feel transformative, turning what seems insignificant into a powerful tool for maintaining health and well-being. So next time you feel the urge to skip those stretches because you're short on time, remember that even a minute can make a world of difference. Keep that in mind, and you may find that building this habit feels much more manageable. Chapter 20: The Cold Water Activation Hack. A 10-second cold exposure trick to increase energy and mental clarity. Cold exposure has this incredible ability to invigorate us, waking us up in a way that a regular cup of coffee just can't match. When I take a quick cold shower or splash my face with cold water, I feel a surge of alertness shooting through me almost immediately. The sudden drop in temperature sends a signal to my brain, triggering the release of endorphins and other neurotransmitters that elevate my mood and sharpen my focus. It's as if my body shifts into high gear, ready to tackle whatever the day holds. This transformation happens because cold exposure increases blood circulation, delivering fresh oxygen and nutrients throughout my body and mind, and that makes a powerful difference in my energy levels. It feels like I've just switched on a light inside my head, banishing any lingering fog or fatigue. I encourage anyone looking for a quick energy boost in the morning to embrace cold showers or simply splash cold water on your face. It only takes a few seconds, but those seconds can be game-changing. Picture it. You wake up, and before you dive into your usual routine, you stand under that chill of cold water for just a moment. It's not about making it a grim, torturous experience, but allowing the cold to awaken your senses. With each shiver that ripples through you, feel how it ignites your mental clarity, pushing away the sleep that clings to your mind like a fog. You may even find yourself more alert during your morning commute or more focused during that first meeting at work. Believe me, this tiny practice can make morning lethargy disappear, providing you with a burst of energy that lasts much longer than any caffeine fix. To get the most out of this invigorating trick, try to incorporate it into your daily routine without overthinking it. The key is consistency. Even if it feels uncomfortable at first, the benefits will soon outweigh the initial shock. Start with a splash of cold water on your face when you wake up, then gradually work up to a quick cold shower for those who are feeling bold. This ritual can transform your mornings, preparing you mentally and physically for whatever lies ahead. So why not give it a shot tomorrow? You might just find that a brisk encounter with cold water is the secret weapon to energize both your body and mind. Why top performers use temperature shocks to boost resilience? There's something extraordinary about putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and we've heard so much about mental toughness that it can almost sound cliché. However, when I began to explore how discomfort, particularly through exposure to cold, can enhance resilience, I discovered a world that truly challenges the boundaries of our endurance and mental strength. Cold exposure isn't just about braving frigid waters. It's about training our minds to accept discomfort as part of growth. Each moment spent freezing in the cold builds an inner fortitude, a mental callus, if you will, that grows with each encounter. When your body learns to adapt to the sting of cold, it's not just your physical resilience that strengthens. Your brain starts to rewire itself to embrace stressors, thinking, if I can handle this, I can handle anything. That shift in perception enables a level of mental toughness that high achievers use to tackle challenges in their personal and professional lives. High performers, whether athletes, entrepreneurs, or creative thinkers, often incorporate cold exposure into their daily routines. They don't just plunge into icy waters during rare moments of valor. Instead, they seamlessly integrate cold showers or ice baths into their mornings, setting the tone for a day full of challenges. Each cold shower becomes a ritual where they practice determination and focus, training their willpower like a muscle. For them, it's not merely about getting clean or refreshing. It's an intentional act of personal power. Some high achievers even take it further with deliberate breaths and meditative techniques while they endure the chill, finding clarity of thought amid discomfort. As I adopted this practice, I too found that the initial shock of cold became a springboard into deeper mindfulness, enhancing my focus and creativity throughout the day. By embracing temperature shocks, these individuals cultivate an unwavering belief in their capabilities. Their resilience is not just skin deep. It goes beyond the physical, fostering an indomitable spirit capable of overcoming any obstacle. The ability to pause, breathe, and face discomfort head-on feeds into a cycle of success, where the more they practice, the more equipped they feel. This is not just about enduring cold, but about mastering one's own mentality amidst adversity. To embark on a similar journey, consider starting with a simple adjustment, such as ending your shower with a burst of cold water each day. It's a little discomfort that builds bridges to greater resilience and an empowered sense of self. Chapter 21: The Daily Net Worth Check. A 30-second habit that builds financial awareness. Every morning, before I dive into the day's chaos, I take a moment for a daily financial check-in. This simple habit, which only takes about 30 seconds, has dramatically transformed my awareness of my financial landscape. Rather than merely glancing over my budget or checking my bank balance, I consciously reflect on my financial situation. I consider my income, upcoming expenses, and savings goals. I ask myself whether I'm on track or if I need to reevaluate my spending for the week. This practice helps me create a mental snapshot of my finances, making me more mindful of my decisions throughout the day. It's incredible how dedicating just 30 seconds can elevate my financial consciousness and keep me centered. By engaging in these quick daily sessions, I've found that I approach financial management with a proactive mindset. Instead of waiting for the end of the month to review my budgeting and spending habits, I can identify patterns and make adjustments in real time. If something unexpected comes up, like an unplanned dinner or a sale I can't resist, I can weigh the impact on my budget right then and there. This level of awareness allows me to feel more in control and prevents small impulses from throwing me off track. It turns a buzzy sense of anxiety about money into clarity and empowerment. Knowing where I stand financially helps me make informed decisions, enhancing my ability to manage my finances effectively. Taking this moment each day isn't just about numbers. It's about building a habit of awareness. As I embrace this practice, I not only clarify my immediate financial standing, but also cultivate a deeper understanding of my relationship with money. Over time, I've noticed that my stress around finances has diminished. I encourage you to adopt this simple yet powerful habit. Start with a daily financial check-in of your own. It could be the small change that leads to significant improvements in your financial well-being. How successful people use micro-tracking to create massive financial growth. Small, consistent financial practices can lead to tremendous wealth over time. I always believe that the difference between those who thrive financially and those who struggle often lies in their daily habits. It's not always the big investment or the enormous salary that makes the real difference. Instead, it's the little decisions we make each day regarding our finances that compound and create significant growth. I started tracking every expense a few years ago, whether it was a daily coffee or monthly subscriptions. This practice allowed me to identify patterns in my spending, revealing unnecessary costs that could be trimmed without impacting my quality of life. Over time, these small savings blossomed into substantial amounts, which I then redirected into investments. By understanding where my money was going, I could redirect my focus toward building wealth rather than simply surviving paycheck to paycheck. I encourage everyone to adopt a similar tracking method for their own financial success. It doesn't have to be an elaborate system. Just a simple notebook or smartphone app can do wonders. Start by writing down everything that goes in and out of your pocket. You might discover surprising trends that could lead you to save more or spend smarter. Each week, take a moment to review your finances. This is a practice that can transform your relationship with money. The goal is to cultivate awareness that makes you intentional with your finances. As you begin to see changes, perhaps in the form of small savings or increased investment opportunities, the motivation naturally grows. Before long, the empowerment from knowing and controlling your finances can lead to significant financial achievement. Remember, the journey to financial freedom doesn't require drastic changes, but rather a commitment to micro-tracking your financial habits. Just like any skill, consistency is vital to mastering your finances. Small insights you gather along the way can prove to be invaluable. Keep your financial goals in mind and stay disciplined, and you might be surprised at how quickly those small steps can lead to substantial results. Chapter 22: The Money Talk Habit. A micro-habit that eliminates financial fear and increases wealth consciousness. Talking about money has long been shrouded in stigma, perceived as a taboo topic that invites discomfort and judgment. I felt this weight on my shoulders as I navigated through conversations with friends and family. Whenever the subject arose, I would notice a shift in the atmosphere, as if the word money conjured a heavy cloud hanging over us. What I realized, though, is that this discomfort comes from a place of fear of judgment, fear of vulnerability, and ultimately, the fear of being judged for our financial situations. We often assume others have it all figured out, when in reality, we are all wrestling with our own money narratives. To break free from this cycle, we need to change our relationship with money by initiating honest conversations. Finding a small group of trusted individuals to share openly about financial struggles and triumphs can alleviate this fear. It helps to create a safe space where vulnerability is not only accepted but celebrated. This simple act of sharing diminishes the stigma and transforms our financial conversations into empowering dialogues. Embracing open conversations about money can lead to numerous benefits that change not only our perspective, but also our financial outcomes. When we share our financial journeys, we gain insights that we may never have encountered on our own. The stories of others can inspire new ideas for budgeting, saving, or investing that we hadn't considered before. I remember discussing my saving strategies with a friend and how her different approach helped me rethink my own priorities. These discussions often lead to collaborative problem solving, where we can offer practical advice based on our experiences. This kind of dialogue not only enriches our understanding of finances, but increases our financial literacy collectively. Additionally, when we regularly talk about money, we begin to dismantle the harmful beliefs that have been instilled in us about wealth and self-worth. We learn to measure success through experience, growth, and community support rather than just monetary value. In cultivating this micro-habit of open conversations, we begin to foster an environment of abundance rather than scarcity. We actively shift our mindset from fear and anxiety around money to a focus on potential and opportunity. I found that surrounding myself with like-minded individuals shifted my own money consciousness into a more appreciative and proactive state. Money became less of a source of stress and more a tool for achieving my goals. I learned that by simply introducing the topic into casual conversations, I opened doors to connections that brought both wisdom and wealth into my life. As we continue to share, listen, and support each other through our financial journeys, we create a community that cultivates abundance, prosperity, and a healthier relationship with money. Start with your next conversation. Ask how someone feels about their finances, or share a recent success or challenge. You might be surprised by the positive impact such small exchanges can have on your mindset. How speaking about money positively changes your financial trajectory. Talking about money can feel daunting, but it's one of the most powerful tools we have to empower ourselves and improve our financial decisions. When conversations around finances become a regular part of our lives, they help reduce anxiety and uncertainty. Personally, I used to shy away from discussing money, fearing judgment or misunderstanding. However, I discovered that by opening up about my financial situation, I could make more informed choices. Conversations with friends and family provided clarity, insights, and even new ideas that I hadn't considered before. As I listened to their experiences, I realized how often our anxieties stem from silence. By discussing our financial goals, fears, and struggles, we break down barriers and empower ourselves to tackle those issues head-on. A mindset shift is essential if we want to turn financial conversations into opportunities rather than obstacles. Instead of viewing these discussions as uncomfortable or confrontational, I learned to see them as gateways to growth. When shifting my perspective, I started to embrace the idea that every chat about finances could be a stepping stone towards better decisions. For example, discussing budgeting with a trusted friend led me to new strategies that helped me navigate my expenses more effectively. Embracing a positive mindset enables us to view each financial conversation as a chance to learn and improve. It reframes our thoughts from, "I can't afford that," to, "How can I make that happen?" The shift in language and thought processes creates a more proactive approach to our financial lives. One practical tip that has served me well is to set aside time regularly to talk about finances with someone you trust. It could be a family member, a partner, or a friend. This doesn't have to be formal. It can be casual coffee conversations or moments during a walk. By making these discussions a routine part of your life, you not only lessen the anxiety surrounding finances, but also create a support system that challenges and encourages you. Over time, I found that these conversations not only improved my understanding of money, but also fostered closer relationships built on vulnerability and trust. So, embrace the conversations. You might just find that they lead you down a path of opportunity and empowerment. Chapter 23. The One Connection a Day Rule. A simple micro-habit to build a powerful network effortlessly. Networking is often seen as a daunting task, reserved for the most extroverted among us. However, I've learned that networking is an essential part of personal and professional growth, a skill that can be developed over time. Whenever I reflect on my own journey, I realize that the people I've met and the relationships I've cultivated have been pivotal to my success. From mentors who guided me to colleagues who supported me, each connection has contributed to my evolving narrative. It's not just about who you know, it's about establishing meaningful relationships that can offer advice, open doors, and even create opportunities that I never could have anticipated. The beauty of networking lies in its reciprocity. When you invest in people, they often invest in you as well. This is why I believe that incorporating networking into our daily routines can significantly enhance our lives. Integrating daily networking might sound overwhelming, but it can be surprisingly simple. I discovered a straightforward micro-habit that anyone can adopt, aiming to connect with at least one new person each day. This doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can be as simple as striking up a conversation with a barista or participating in a discussion thread in an online community. What I focus on is the quality of the interaction rather than the quantity. Instead of thinking of networking as a task on a to-do list, I approach it as an opportunity to learn and exchange ideas. In just a few moments each day, I find that I can spark genuine conversations that lead to shared knowledge and insights. Over time, these small connections add up, creating a rich tapestry of relationships that you can draw upon when opportunities arise. A practical tip to make this micro-habit even more effective is to keep a small journal or a digital note on your phone where you can jot down the names and details of the people you connect with. Whenever I meet someone new, I take a moment to reflect on our conversation and write down something memorable about them. This not only helps me remember who they are, but also serves as a gentle reminder to follow up later. It transforms a brief encounter into a lasting connection. By making networking feel effortless, we can organically grow our networks, enriching both our personal and professional lives without feeling pressured or overwhelmed. Why successful people prioritize relationships over talent. When I think about the paths of people who have reached remarkable levels of success, one thing stands out: their ability to cultivate and maintain relationships. Raw talent is undeniably important, but I've witnessed time and again that it often takes a back seat to the relationships we build along the way. Consider this: two individuals may have similar talent and skills, but the one with stronger connections tends to move forward more rapidly. This isn't just about networking. It's about genuine relationships where trust and mutual support flourish. In many instances, opportunities arise not solely from one's expertise, but because someone believed in them and advocated for them. This is the invisible hand that often shapes successful careers. Leverage does not come expensive, it comes through connection. It's essential to recognize how crucial it is to nurture your network. Start viewing your relationships as invaluable resources you can rely on for growth and development. Each person you meet has something unique to offer, whether it's knowledge, experience, or a new perspective. Engaging meaningfully with colleagues, mentors, or even acquaintances can open doors you never even knew existed. Make a habit of investing time in these connections, not just when you need something. Reach out, show genuine interest, and be present in your conversations. This proactive approach will ensure that when you do need support or guidance, you won't just be a voice in the crowd. In this fast-paced world, remember that success isn't always a straight line governed by talent alone. It's a complex web woven with trust, respect, and mutual benefit. To truly benefit from this, set aside time to nurture relationships, be it attending networking events, reaching out for coffee, or simply checking in with people. You'd be surprised how far a little kindness and connection can go. These relationships often bear fruit when you least expect it. Fostering these networks will not only enrich your career, but also enhance your life, creating a foundation of support that can carry you through challenges and highlights alike. Chapter 24: The Evening Self-Check Habit. A quick reflection habit to review your day and adjust for tomorrow. Daily reflection has become an invaluable tool for me. It acts as a mirror, allowing me to evaluate my actions, decisions, and emotions as I navigate through each day. This practice offers a structured way to promote continuous improvement in both my personal and professional life. Each evening, I take a few moments to sit quietly and consider what transpired throughout the day. This isn't merely a replay of events. Rather, it's an exploration of how I felt, what I achieved, and where I missed the mark. By doing this consistently, I've noticed a remarkable shift in my awareness and understanding of my own behavior. It becomes easier to identify patterns, both positive and negative, and take actionable steps toward adjustment for the future. Self-assessment is an essential component of personal growth and learning. When I consciously dedicate time to review my day, I can discern those areas where I excel and those where improvement is needed. This practice has taught me that learning isn't just about absorbing new information. It's about understanding how I interact with that information through my experiences. The insights I glean from this reflective process make the journey of personal development feel less overwhelming. Understanding that I can learn from my day-to-day experiences transforms those moments of frustration into invaluable lessons. With every reflection, I enhance my self-awareness, boost my confidence, and gradually build a greater sense of resilience against life's challenges. As you consider incorporating this habit into your routine, remember that it's not about perfection or having all the answers. Instead, it's about being honest with yourself and recognizing that every day brings an opportunity to learn and grow. Dedicate a few moments each evening to reflect on your day, what went well and what didn't. Embrace this chance to adjust your focus for tomorrow, and you'll find yourself stepping into each new day with clarity and renewed purpose. As I often remind myself, the daily reflection isn't just a summary. It's a pathway to becoming the best version of myself. How this microhabit accelerates personal growth. Engaging in evening self-checks has become a cornerstone of my routine, and the long-term benefits are substantial. Each night, I take a moment to reflect on the goals I'm pursuing. This simple practice allows me to align my daily actions with my larger aspirations. Over time, I've found that these nightly reflections help clarify what truly matters to me, stripping away distractions and keeping me focused. It's astonishing how these small check-ins can lead to profound shifts in understanding. By regularly assessing my progress, I can celebrate my wins, no matter how small, and also identify areas where I may be veering off course. This method empowers me to make necessary adjustments promptly, ensuring I'm always moving closer to my long-term objectives. Finding the time to evaluate myself each evening might seem daunting at first, but carving out just a few moments is incredibly rewarding. I suggest starting with a dedicated time, perhaps right before bed. This established routine not only encourages consistency, but also creates a peaceful mindset for winding down. During this time, I ask myself questions such as what did I accomplish today? And what could I have done differently? This practice is less about judgment and more about growth. It invites opportunity for adjustment and growth without the pressure of immediate perfection. There's an undeniable magic in reflecting on my day. It allows both clarity and assurance that I am on my right path. Ultimately, these evening check-ins cultivate a deeper self-awareness that stimulates personal growth. It's remarkable how such a tiny habit can build momentum over time. By treating each night as a mini evaluation session, I'm able to go to sleep feeling accomplished, or at the very least, aware of my direction. To make this practice even more effective, I encourage you to keep a journal where you note your thoughts and insights. Writing them down not only solidifies your reflection, but also serves as a valuable record of your journey. This is a small step towards accelerated personal growth that can lead to remarkable changes in your life. Conclusion: small shifts, big results. The power of compounding microhabits over time. I've often been amazed by how small actions, taken consistently, can lead to extraordinary changes in our lives. Each morning, as I sip my coffee while jotting down a few notes, I'm reminded that it's the tiny, seemingly insignificant choices that accumulate and create a significant impact. Whether it's writing just one paragraph instead of aiming for an entire chapter, or reading a few pages of a book instead of an entire volume, these microhabits serve as the building blocks of my day. Each time I engage in these small practices, I reinforce a belief in gradual progress. It becomes clear that the journey of improvement isn't just about grandeur, but consists of simple, repeatable actions that over time yield remarkable results. This insight is a powerful tool, allowing me to see each moment as an opportunity for growth rather than a daunting challenge to tackle all at once. A challenge to the reader: pick one microhabit and start today. Taking action can feel overwhelming, especially when it comes to changing our habits. I encourage you to pick just one microhabit to implement today. It can be as simple as drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, or spending 5 minutes stretching before bed. The key is to choose something manageable that resonates with you, something you can easily incorporate into your daily routine. Making this decision is the first step toward progress, and it doesn't require drastic changes to begin your journey. Each small step counts. The importance of starting small cannot be overstated. When we try to do too much at once, we often become discouraged and give up. However, by focusing on a single microhabit, we allow ourselves room to grow gradually. This approach not only makes the habit easier to stick to, but also fosters a sense of accomplishment as we succeed in our small goals. As you build on this habit over time, you'll find that it can multiply into larger changes in your life. The process of growth becomes enjoyable and less daunting when we take it one small step at a time. To ensure that this microhabit sticks, try to link it to an existing routine. For instance, if you decide to meditate for 2 minutes daily, do it right after you brush your teeth. This connection will help reinforce the new habit, making it feel like a natural part of your day. Remember, the tiny shifts you make now are the building blocks of your future successes. The final message: success isn't about what you do once, it's about what you do daily. Daily habits dictate long-term success and fulfillment. The truth is, we often underestimate the power of small actions. When I look back on my journey, I realized that it wasn't a single groundbreaking moment that propelled me forward, but rather the consistent choices I made each day. Each habit, whether it was waking up early, dedicating time to read, or engaging in self-reflection, built upon itself to create a solid foundation. Every small step taken repetitively over time leads to monumental change. It's the daily grind, those little commitments, that ultimately shape our lives and outcomes. The habits we cultivate become the blueprint for future success. They can either anchor us in comfort or propel us into new adventures. Understanding this concept shifted my perspective and helped me embrace the mundane but impactful routines that transformed my vision into reality. Committing to continual growth through microhabits is essential. It may seem trivial to read a page of a book or to write a few sentences in a journal each day, but the cumulative effect of these actions can be extraordinary. Each small action reinforces itself, building momentum that can lead to profound changes. I remember starting with just 10 minutes of reading daily. Over time, it blossomed into an obsession with knowledge and an insatiable curiosity that opened doors I never thought possible. It's crucial to identify which microhabits resonate with you. Perhaps it's drinking a glass of water each morning or taking a short walk. These habits may appear insignificant in isolation, yet their power lies in their consistency. Every commitment made, no matter how small, is a step towards larger aspirations. As you reflect on your daily routines, consider integrating microhabits that align with your goals. If you want to improve your health, start with one healthy meal each day. If you seek to enhance your skills, dedicate even a few minutes each day to practice. These small yet intentional choices will add up in ways you cannot yet foresee. Remember, success is not a destination. It's the little things that we do each day, which can lead to extraordinary achievements over time. The real question is, what will you choose to do today? And there you have it, 48 microhabits that may seem small on their own, but when stacked together, create unstoppable momentum. Success isn't about one grand gesture. It's about what you do consistently, day in and day out. So here's your challenge. Pick just one microhabit from this list and start today. Maybe it's the 5-second morning rule to stop snoozing. Maybe it's the 10-minute thinking session to gain clarity. Or maybe it's the no complaints rule to rewire your mindset. Remember, tiny shifts lead to massive results. The question is, will you take the first step? Let me know in the comments which microhabit you're going to implement first. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more book insights, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive into the world's most powerful ideas. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep taking those small steps toward success. Written by Mindful Literary.